left to right, jumping it up at center. 7-foot freshman sensation Pat Ewing going against number 5 Mike McKay. And McKay's going to have to give up a few inches, and Ewing's supposed to be a leaper, so let's see exactly what's going to happen. Ball is up, tap control by McKay, but Floyd comes up with it. Floyd down to Hancock, stripped underneath. The ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Hobbs. So the Huskies hold, and they'll be on the defense.
Nice play by Carl Hobbs, stripping it out from Eric Smith, and he'll inbound it.
Smith gets it into Floyd. Floyd passes down top to Hancock. Hancock back to Floyd, and Georgetown will start things up. Pass goes on the right side to Eric Smith. Smith holding the ball high above his head into Ewing. Ewing gets the ball blocked by Bailey. Gets the rebound, throws up a shot, and connects. Ewing hits the first 2 points of the game. It's Georgetown 2, Connecticut 0. And Georgetown has 5 seniors, 3 Smiths, 1 Eric, 1 Gene, and 1 Elvado, 1 Jones, 1 Martin, 1 Brown, 1 Blue. A lot of easy names to say for this broadcast, but we might get confused with the number of Smiths that might be in the game at once. Huskies with the ball right around midcourt is Carl Hobbs. Man-to-man full court pressure by the Hoyas. Hobbs going to his right, dribbling with his right hand, goes towards the middle, pass to Thompson, top of the key. Left side to Bailey, down low to Alcinas. He tries to throw it in the middle. It's tapped around back to Alcinas. He throws up a shot, no good. Rebound Thompson. He fakes up, throws up a shot, no good. Rebound battled around for, and it comes all the way out to Norman Bailey. Bailey controlling the ball for the Huskies. They got 2 quick rebounds, but Thompson a little bit miffed at himself for not putting in a layup, which he has missed 1 layup each of his last 3 contests. Now Alcinas top of the key. Left side to McKay. McKay fakes, drives, shoots. Off the rim, no good. Rebound down low. McKay again. He fakes up, throws up a whistle. And let's see what we're going to get. A foul called on Hancock.
Foul's going to be on Freddie Brown, Harold. Huskies getting a lot of offensive rebounds right away. And McKay's going to go to the line to shoot 2.
And what they're arguing about is Pat Ewing might have had goaltending. And now they're going to give him the 2 points. No, they're not going to give him the 2 points. It looked like Ewing put his hand high above where the ball was on the rim, and they just didn't give McKay the 2 points. Instead, he'll have 2 free throws. His first one is good. So the Huskies 0 for 4 from the floor already. Georgetown's intimidating defense so far is holding up in the first 1 minute and 15 seconds of play. McKay's second shot is around the rim. No good. Rebound Ewing. 2-1 Georgetown. And Georgetown controlling the ball. This is Eric Smith, right side. Lob pass down low to Hancock. Tipped away and controlled by McKay. McKay up to Hobbs. 2-on-2 fast break. Hobbs goes toward the middle. Takes a shot. Now slows things up for the offense. And UConn goes into it. Still man-to-man defense for Georgetown. 18:26 to go in the first half. Bailey right side over to Alcinas. The middle cleared out. No one's in there. McKay now left side over to Bailey. Top of the key to Thompson. Thompson looking to go down, looking to drive. Now he drives to right side. Lobs it into Alcinas, but stripped away by Ewing. Ewing dribbling up the court. Left side to Smith. 4-on-2 break. Smith from 20. Bang! He hits it. Georgetown 4, Connecticut 1. And Huskies facing that full court man-to-man. Bailey breaking it with the dribble. Now he loses control. It goes out of bounds. And it'll be controlled by Georgetown.
Norman Bailey again playing the dropsies with the ball there, losing it here on the near sidelines. And Georgetown has it back.
This is Freddie Brown. Freddie Brown, the rookie of the year in the Big East last year, playing the point guard. He's been sporadic, though. At times they've had to bring out Eric Smith to play the point. Now Smith has the ball down low to Ewing. Ewing over Alex Sinnis, and he hits from 10. Patrick Ewing, a rainbow jumper over Chuck Alexander. The Hoyas are quickly up by 5, 6-1. And for Patrick, that's his 4th point. And he only had 6 points versus Syracuse in their game on Sunday. Carl Hobbs spinning around Eric Floyd. Now passing the right side. Alexander is about 28 feet from the basket. Back to Hobbs. Hobbs right side to Bailey. Bailey looking down low. Left side to McKay now. McKay right around the 28-foot mark also. Right side to Bailey. Bailey fakes driving. Now he does drive. Gets it over to Thompson. Thompson right side of the circle. Now cross-court pass to McKay. Back out to Hobbs. Huskies passing it around the perimeter, but not getting it underneath. Patrick Ewing being a little bit of an intimidator by just being there. Here's Hobbs now dribbling on the right side. He stops his dribble. Now looking in the middle. He's being guarded there by Eric Smith. Finally gets it over to Bailey. Thompson in the corner from 25. Bang! Courtney Thompson silences the crowd. His first 2 points. 6-3. Now Bailey would almost steal over to Freddie Brown. And Georgetown coming back the other way. Brown dribbling the ball. Right sideline. Gets it over to Hancock. Hancock looking in the middle. Back to Brown. Over to Smith. And now to Eric Sleepy Floyd. Floyd lobs it into Ewing, but it's stripped away by number 30, Norman Bailey. And it's Hobbs racing down the court. Hobbs with a layup up and in. And the Huskies cut the lead to 1 by the score of 6-5.
This is the best start the Huskies have had in the past 4 Big East games, Harold.
Floyd, right side, gets it over to Hancock. Hancock cross-court pass. Eric Smith bobbles it for a minute, now recontrols it. Over to Freddie Brown. Huskies in a 2-3 defense, and they're all trying to collapse on Pat Ewing. This is Smith driving on the left side, a blocking call on Thompson. Good call by the referee. Thompson did not have his position, and he picks up the first foul for the team and the second in the game. One foul on each team. What the Huskies are probably hoping to do is get Patrick Ewing a few quick fouls. He's known for his temperament. And if the Huskies could have gotten him going, they're hoping to get him on the bench with some foul trouble in the early going. But so far it's 16-13 to go. He does not have one foul. Smith entering the ball into play, gets it over to Eric Sleepy Floyd. Floyd out on top to Freddie Brown. The Huskies retreat back to the 2-3. Pass goes on the right side over to Smith. Down low to Ewing. Ewing gets it out to Floyd one more time. Floyd to Hancock, and the Georgetown machine will start up once again. Eric Smith, right corner, dribbles a few times over to Sleepy Floyd. Back to Eric Smith. Smith trying to drive, but Mike McKay there slowing him up. Back out to Hancock at the top of the key. Hancock lobs it to Ewing. Left side to Brown. Brown drives the baseline. Fires it over to Ewing. He can't control it. Here's Hobbs on a breakaway. 1-on-0. Hobbs lays it up and in. And the Huskies have their first lead of the night. 7-6 for Carl Hobbs' fourth point. Georgetown's ball. This is Freddie Brown as Huskies now go into a man-to-man defense. Freddie Brown backs it into the forecourt. Dribbles past Hobbs. Gets it down low to Hancock. Stripped away by the Huskies. Now Hancock losing it to Thompson. And Connecticut steals the ball again, and they're playing some mighty good defense here in the early going of the first half. Still, it's man-to-man for the Hoyas. And Kyle Hobbs walks it across half court, gets it to Norman Bailey around the midcourt circle. Bailey now calling for some motion. No one's moving in the offense. Bounce pass to Thompson, left side of the circle. Back out to Hobbs around midcourt. 15:03 to go here in the first half. It's Harold Eric along with Jeff Dobek. Connecticut 7, Georgetown 6. And Carl Hobbs controlling the basketball. Hobbs over to Bailey. Bailey bounce pass right side to Thompson. Thompson looking down low. No one's open. Now a lobber into Mike McKay. McKay bounce pass out to Bailey. But Bailey was near. It's Eric Sleepy Floyd going against the basket. And a nice play by Bailey to strip Floyd of the basketball. And it goes out of bounds.
Harold, good defense by the Huskies here, especially with their hands. They're not committing fouls, but they are reaching for the ball and just knocking it away just in time. And we've got a timeout here with 14:44 to go in the first half. It's the Huskies 7 and the Hoyas 6. We'll be back right after this. Back here at McDonough Arena, steamy hot McDonough Arena. This is Jeff Dobek along with Harold Darak. The Huskies of Connecticut have scored the last 6 points of this game, 4 by Carl Hobbs on breakaway layups, and they lead 7-6, although Georgetown has the ball. But Norman Bailey looks good on defense, Harold, and he looks a little bit more aware of what planet he's on. Last Saturday, we didn't know where he was. And as a whole, the defense is playing very well man-to-man, and Pat Ewing has had a couple shots. Two have gone in, but Sleepy Floyd has yet to score on the evening. Eric Smith is going to inbound this ball. Huskies going left to right on your radio dial here in the first half. Georgetown going right to left.
Georgetown inbounds the ball. Floyd out top to Freddie Brown. Huskies now falling back into his zone. Eric Smith left side, back out top to Brown. In the corner to Floyd. Floyd down low to Ewing. Back to Floyd. Over to Brown. Brown top of the circle. Left side to Floyd. Floyd now driving baseline. Spins toward the middle. Huskies get him there. Top to Eric Smith. Another steal by Hobbs. Hobbs gives it to Bailey, and it's a layup up and in. He almost dunked it. He almost missed a layup, but Hobbs got the ball to Bailey after the steal. So give Carl Hobbs a steal and an assist. And it's Connecticut 9, the Hoyas 6. Floyd on the left side, looking cross court, gets into Hancock. Almost stolen by Bailey, but he'll get called for a foul. The Huskies are doing what they want to do. They're letting the ball get in down low, and then they're trying to strip it from the forwards.
And these officials are letting the team play a little bit more than the St. John's game. 61 fouls called in that St. John's game. And now a substitution into the lineup for Georgetown. Gene Smith from Washington, D.C., sophomore, and Harold's going to tell you a little bit more.
6'2". He missed the entire month of December with a broken foot. Now there's a jumper by Floyd. It hits the backboard and nothing else. And Thompson pulls down the board. This is Carl Hobbs crossing midcourt, slowing things up as Georgetown falls back into man-to-man. Gene Smith started the last 8 games last season at the point guard, finished 3rd with the team in assists. He's a very good defensive player. He's quick and a tireless worker. So let's see what he's going to do for Georgetown. Thompson, left side to Hobbs. In the corner to McKay. A rainbow jumper. Bang! McKay hits from the far corner. 3 points for Mike. 11-6. The Huskies lead by 5. And this is Hancock with the ball. Out top to Gene Smith, over to Eric Smith. Smith drives down the middle now. Passes back over to Gene. Cross-court pass to Eric Floyd. Floyd from 20 feet around the rim. No good. Rebound. Hancock knocked out of bounds by McKay. And Georgetown will keep control of the basketball.
Huskies have now scored the last 10 points in this game, and the crowd here is getting a little bit restless, and we'll have another substitution into the game. Anthony Jones, one of their fabulous freshmen from Washington, D.C. He was the player of the year, named by the Washington Post in District of Columbia. Averaged 24 points and 14 rebounds last year, and now a host of substitutions. Co-captain Ed Spriggs in for Georgetown, and Bruce Kaczynski in for the Huskies. He replaces Norman Bailey.
And we're going to see Anthony Jones play some guard. He is listed as a forward, but he's a tremendous outside shooter, and the Hoyas are cold from the outside. That's why they brought him in. Now Jones controlling the ball on the right sideline. Huskies in the 2-3. Out top to Gene Smith, left side to Floyd. Floyd driving on Mike McKay. Now passing out to Gene Smith, cross court to Jones. Jones looking down low for Ewing. Ewing's open. They won't give it to him. This is Floyd driving. Block shot by Alexis. Rebound by Ewing, but he misses the shot, and the ball goes out to Spriggs. And Georgetown will control again after getting that rebound. Floyd over to Gene Smith in the corner to Jones. Jones holding the ball high above his head, fakes the shoot. Back out to Gene Smith. The drums are going here. Eric Floyd now left side gets it in the corner to Ed Spriggs. Back on top to Gene Smith. They're very patient. They're waiting for the shot that they want. Anthony Jones out top to Floyd. Left side back to Gene Smith. Open jumper from 20. Around the rim. Rebound. Down low to Spriggs, and he connects. Ed Spriggs hits the first Georgetown basket in about 6 minutes of play. And it's now 11-8 Connecticut. It's Carl Hobbs dribbling between traffic, now slowing things up and laughing at his opponents. Hobbs, a former teammate of number 33, Pat Ewing's, and they're going at it, really going at it, even though Hobbs is 5'8 and Ewing's 7 foot. Hobbs wants to put on a show in front of his former teammate. Carl controlling the ball right around midcourt, being guarded there by Eric Sleepy Floyd. Now they switch men as Gene Smith takes Hobbs. Hobbs going to the left side, loses control of the ball as he dribbles between his legs, but now regains it. Left side to McKay, a long jumper, off the rim. Rebound comes in the hands of Smith. 2-on-1 break. Gene Smith, right side to Floyd, and he hits it. Eric Sleepy Floyd hits his first 2 points of the night. 11-10, Connecticut on top by 1. And Connecticut's ball around half court. Hobbs left side to Mike McKay. McKay back over to Carl Hobbs. Another substitute getting set to check in for Georgetown. Martin. It's Bill Martin, the other heralded freshman. So many men on the can come in from the bench. Now a whistle down low and a foul on Ewing, I believe. Maybe not. Yes, they're going to call it on Patrick Ewing. His first foul, the team's second.
And we've got a timeout on the court now with 11:25 to go in the first half. It's Connecticut 11, Georgetown 10. We'll be back with more UConn basketball action right after this. Back here at McDonough Arena, it's 11-10 Huskies. They've had the lead more than the Georgetown Hoyas have had tonight. And so far, Pat Ewing and Carl Hobbs, teammates at Cambridge, Ridge, and Latin, lead each team with 4 points respectively.
Okay, we'd like to remind you, halftime guest Joe D'Ambrosio from WLIS in New London, Connecticut. So stay tuned and listen to that. We'd also like to thank the Women's Radio Collective for letting us preempt them this evening. You can hear them every Wednesday evening from 7 to 10 on the Sound Alternative. And let's also throw in a thanks for our technical director, Ben Palazzo, back at the studio. You can hear him and Tom Bowen this Friday evening. Women's basketball on the Sound Alternative. UConn Lady Huskies versus West Virginia. Next day after that, it'll be UConn basketball versus the tough Villanova Wildcats, 8 p.m. Airtime 7:55 on the Sound Alternative.
And that game's already a sellout at the Hartford Civic Center, so if you don't got a ticket, you might as well stay home and either listen to it on TV or listen to us.
Huskies ball underneath their own basket. Mike McKay inbounds it over to Vernon Giscombe, who's entered the game for the first time. Vernon Giscombe in for Carl Hobbs. Pass left side to McKay, back to Giscombe as the Hoyas go into a 1-3-1 defensive zone. Right side over to Vernon Giscombe in the corner to Alex Sinnes. Alex Sinnes is bundled there. He's having some problems. Gets it over to Giscombe. Giscombe trying to drive. Lose the ball. A whistle. I believe we're going to have a foul on Spriggs, but Alex Sinnes had the ball and was trapped by 2 Georgetown players. Finally got rid of it. 11:03 to go here in the first half. Connecticut 11, Georgetown 10.
And we've only had 5 fouls called in 9 minutes, and very much different from last Saturday.
60 fouls in the UConn St. John's game. Incredible total. Ball kicked off the foot of Anthony Jones out of bounds. Connecticut controlling it deep in there, right around the 28-foot mark on the far sideline. Corny Thompson gets it into Vern Giscombe. Giscombe dribbling the ball around. Still 1-3-1 zone for Georgetown. Right side to McKay. McKay over to Thompson in the bucket. He shoots and scores. Corny Thompson scores his 4th point of the evening. It's Connecticut 13, Georgetown 10. in Georgetown takes the offense. Gene Smith, right side to Floyd from 20. A short rebound down low comes to number 24, Bill Martin. His shot is missed, and Courtney Thompson comes up with it. The Huskies still not getting those rebounds.
Kaczynski got a hand on that Martin shot, Harold, and he blocked it.
And so George Discom coming back the other way. He's being guarded by Gene Smith out top to Courtney Thompson. Right side to Mike McKay. McKay going one-on-one with Floyd. Passing the right side to Kaczynski, who has his left leg heavily taped. Ball comes out to Vern Giscombe right around midcourt. Clock running down 10-12 to go here in half number one. Kaczynski left side to Courtney Thompson. Cross court pass to Vern Giscombe. Right side of the circle to Alex Innes. Trying to shoot over. Pat Ewing gets blocked. He gets his rebound, drive, shoots, and scores. So Ewing comes up with his block shot that ties the all-time Georgetown record. But Alex Innes gets the rebound, comes in, hits his first 2 points of the evening, and it's 15-10. And Connecticut on top by 5. Pass goes down low to Spriggs. Spriggs around the broken circle, shoots and scores. Ed Spriggs, 2 points on the evening. 15-12. Huskies lead cut to 3. 9:34 to go. Giscombe crosses the timeline. He's being guarded there by Gene Smith. Right side to Kaczynski. Back out to Giscombe. Right side to McKay now. McKay now lobs it into Courtney Thompson. Knocked away. Controlled by Kaczynski, who drives and scores. A nice play by Bruce Kaczynski. 17-12. Cross-court pass. And coming up with his Courtney Thompson, but he's called for a travel. Thompson caught the ball, was tripped by his own teammate Mike McKay, and was called for the travel.
Freddie Brown and Eric Smith back into the lineup for Georgetown, replacing Gene Smith and Sleepy Floyd, who gets his first rest.
Eric Smith taking the ball out, bounce passing Anthony Jones. He's wide open from 25. No shot. Now he gets the ball back from Brown, takes a long jumper, and he connects. Anthony Jones, 2 points on the evening. It's 17-14. UConn on top by 3 with 9:03 to go. Vernon Giscombe driving down the near sideline, guarded by Eric Smith. Chest pass over to Mike McKay, back over to Vern Giscombe in the corner, on the left sideline, over for Bruce Kaczynski. Now pass going over to Mike McKay. McKay back out to Giscombe around midcourt. Man-to-man defense still employed by the Georgetown Hoyas. They're playing it pretty tight. Patrick Ewing not in the game for the first time after that last time out. This is Vern Giscombe now on the left side, driving past Eric Smith. Now he comes back, passes over to Thompson, left side of the circle. Mike McKay, right side of the circle. He drives, foul line, jumper, and he hits. Oh, a nice play by McKay, who looked like Dick Barnett on that play. 5 points for Michael. 19-14, Huskies on top by 5. Eric Smith right around the 28-foot mark. Left side to Jones. It down low to Spriggs. Spriggs hands it to Smith. Smith over. Kaczynski, no good. Rebound, Alex Innes. And Chuck now eating up the boards as Patrick Ewing is sitting on the bench. Ewing now getting the nod. He'll be coming back in. 8:08 to go. And Vern Giscombe walks the ball over the timeline. Pass goes on the left side to Mike McKay. McKay dribbles once, lobs it back over to Vern Giscombe. Huskies playing some good basketball versus Georgetown. One of the best games they've played in quite some time. Did not play very well versus Boston College. St. John's, they played a little better, but the referees took the game away from both teams. Lucky enough that St. John's won that game. Vern Giscombe controlling the ball as Georgetown falls into the 1-3-1. 7:41 to go. Giscombe's just dribbling the ball out. They're going to make Georgetown. Oh, my God, a pass goes awry as Kaczynski was there. And Vern Giscombe threw it to nobody as Kaczynski was standing there. And he went to cut to the basket, and Giscombe threw the pass, and it's a turnover. So the Huskies were going to hold the ball out to force Georgetown to come out to man-to-man, but instead the substitution of Patrick Ewing into the game for Ed Spriggs will occur.
And they had the right idea there, Harold, trying to delay it a little bit. Not to really delay it, but just get satisfied with what they've got. Be patient. Norman Bailey back into the lineup for Hobbs.
Georgetown controlling the ball. Here's a drive, knocked away by Giscombe. A whistle on the play and a foul. A blocking foul should be called on Georgetown. Freddie Brown as Giscombe came away with the steal.
Good team defense by the Huskies again.
That's a very good point. The Huskies are playing very good defense. They're holding Georgetown to 14 points after 12 minutes of play, and there's a timeout on the court. So 7 minutes and 27 seconds to go in the first half. With the score, Connecticut 19 and Georgetown 14. Let's take this timeout.
Back here at McDonough Arena, good game, 19-14, the Huskies lead. And my name is Jeff Dobek, along with Harold Darak and Ben Palazzo, our engineer, back at the studio. 7:27 to go. And this game being nationally televised on the cable for ESPN subscribers. And we'd like to say hello also to those people who probably have to be back at UConn now, Harold, the resident assistants and everything. The dorms have opened, so maybe a few students are back and have tuned us in. Thanks for listening to WHUS, and we'll be covering the Huskies the rest of the way. Every single basketball game from here on in, live, right here on the Sound Alternative. Including Saturday's game at the Hartford Civic Center, against Villanova. Villanova defeated Notre Dame last night, 48-46. The Irish playing tough there, but they'll be coming in and taking on Connecticut Saturday night.
Patrick Ewing, Freddie Brown, Bill Martin, along with Anthony Jones and Eric Smith for Georgetown. The Huskies going with a backcourt of Bailey and Giscombe, forecourt of Kaczynski, Mike McKay, and Chuck Alexinis. And this is Norman Bailey driving on Jones, losing control of his feet, but regaining it, finally passing Alexinis. Alexinis out to Giscombe, and the Huskies dribbling around with the basketball. Right side to Bailey. Bailey down low to Kaczynski. Kaczynski out to Alexinis. He's open from 15. He shoots off the rim. No good. Rebound down low. Tapped out of bounds by Mike McKay.
And Harold, one mistake I made previous. Bailey is into the lineup not for Hobbs, but for Corny Thompson, who gets his first rest this evening.
And Georgetown controlling the basketball. This is number 20, Freddie Brown, playing the point guard. Left side to Eric Smith. Smith hands it over to Jones. Smith and Jones and Brown. And Brown controlling the ball. Cross-court pass in the corner to Eric Smith. He fakes up, drives, now stops. Pass out to Jones. He's open from 20 and he hits. Anthony Jones, who's that tremendous outside shooter, at least that's what we've heard in the press guys and from all the scouts that we've talked to. And he has 4 points. He's 2 for 2 from the outside. 6:41 to go. Bailey losing control momentarily. Passes back to Giscombe. Giscombe looking for Kaczynski. And finally, Giscombe controls the ball, gets around Jones, and comes on the left side. A 10-second violation. The Huskies could not get the ball across the forecourt. And 2 quick substitutions for Connecticut.
Corny Thompson into the lineup for Chuck Alexinis, and Carl Hobbs back in for Vern Giscombe. Sleepy Floyd back in, but Giscombe there should have known. He had Alexinis open on the pass, but he decided to go across the court and dribble it, and he got caught with that 10 seconds.
Bill Martin in the corner with the ball, gets it on top to Eric Sleepy Floyd. Left side Eric Smith, jumper from 15. It's around the rim, no good. Rebound tapped out by Thompson, controlled by Kaczynski, and the Huskies have it the other way. Connecticut 19, Georgetown 16, 6:11 to go here in the first half. Our halftime guest, Joe D'Ambrosio from WLIS. Carl Hobbs dribbles between his legs, goes to the right side, being guarded by Eric Sleepy Floyd. Pass to McKay around the foul line. His jumper's good. And for McKay, his 7th point on the evening, and the Huskies on top by 5, 21-16. Eric Smith dribbling along the right sideline, being guarded by Norman Bailey as the Huskies now fall back into a 2-3 zone. This is Anthony Jones, right side to Smith. Smith in the corner to Bill Martin. He takes a baseline jumper and connects. 21-18. Huskies on top by 3. Carl Hobbs trying to drive around Eric Smith. Gets it to Thompson. Thompson lobs the ball into the forecourt for Norman Bailey. Bailey dribbles behind his back. Gets it out to Carl Hobbs, the point guard and playmaker. Right around the midcourt circle where the Georgetown Hoya emblem lies. Carl Hobbs dribbles down the left side. Now Thompson playing the high post. No man at the low post. Passes over to Bailey. Bailey back to Hobbs. It seems to be a man-to-man defense for Georgetown. This is Thompson right side over to Kaczynski. Kaczynski dribbles once, is stripped the ball, it goes out of bounds. And the Huskies will regain possession on the near sideline.
Harold, the trivia question for today is, what is a Hoya? We'll answer that a little later.
I'm all ready for that. I was waiting for you to ask
I'm going to see if you remember.
I do remember. This is Norman Bailey. Bailey bounce pass to Mike McKay at the foul line. Turnaround jumper over Ewing and does not hit. Rebound tapped up, control by Corny Thompson. So the Huskies get an offensive rebound less than 5 minutes to go. Connecticut 21, Georgetown 18. Huskies with the ball around half court. This is Carl Hobbs. Bounce pass to Thompson at the foul line. Jumper, bang! Corny wide open from the foul line. 6 points for the senior from Middletown, Connecticut. Connecticut opening up that 5-point lead one more time, 23-18. Only 6 fouls called in this game. 4 for the Hoyas, 2 for Connecticut. So the referees letting the Huskies play, and there are 3 referees on the court letting both teams play. In the corner to Anthony Jones. Jones looking down low, gets it out to number 21, Sleepy Floyd. Left side to Eric Smith, back to Floyd. Floyd drives down the lane, past the corner to Jones. Jones now driving the baseline, has blocked by Kaczynski, but a foul called on Bruce. Bruce doesn't like the call, but seemed like he did get a little bit of the arm as Anthony Jones did shoot.
Yeah, Harold, I agree with that call, but Pat Ewing was in the lane there for about 10 seconds, and nobody else saw it, maybe except me. He was just camping out there and looking for the ball, and pretty much wide open, but they couldn't get to him. And now Georgetown will have their first 2 free throw attempts of the evening.
Anthony Jones, the first team high school All-American, hits the first one. For Dunbar High School, he led them to 24 straight wins, averaging 24 points and 14 rebounds. Jones misses the second one. Rebound tapped up, controlled by Carl Hobbs, the smallest man on the court. Hobbs on a 2-on-3 break, drives to the middle, is being badgered there by Eric Smith. He's still dribbling the ball and finally gets away from him towards midcourt as Georgetown falls into a 1-3-1. Not a bad defense for the Hoyas. They are keeping the ball away from the wings. The Huskies can shoot from the corners, but they have not really done so. Now Georgetown matching up man-to-man. And Carl Hobbs driving on Eric Floyd. Passing left side to Thompson. Thompson passes back to Hobbs. Hobbs around midcourt. 3:57 to go. Connecticut on top by 4, 23-19. Hobbs and Bailey passing back and forth around the 28-foot mark. Now Hobbs trying to look in the middle. Can't find him. Hobbs and Bailey both trying to get Thompson. But they're just passing the ball back and forth as Georgetown playing a very lazy 2-3 zone. Pass goes to McKay. Back out to Hobbs. Hobbs waiting for Floyd to come out on him. Passes over to Bailey. Passing back and forth still. Clock running down, 3:32. Now they're matching up man for man. Thompson gets the ball in the middle. Passes back to Hobbs. Hobbs looking to drive on number 21, Eric Sleepy Floyd. Does so on the right side. Slows things up. Back to Thompson, who hands it back to Hobbs. Huskies not really playing a stall. They're just waiting for the opportunity. Now, offensive charge called on Hobbs as Floyd held position for about 0.3 seconds. Not a very good call by the referees, but they're going to get it. And Hobbs picking up his first foul, the team's fourth. Jeff, what do you think about that?
Didn't look like one to me, Harold, but we're high atop McDonough Arena, but questionable to say the least.
2-3 defense for the Huskies. This is Eric Smith on the left side of the circle. He's looking to drive. Left side in the corner to Jones. Jones was open for a minute. Thompson all over him now. Pass goes over to Floyd. Right side to Martin. 3 freshmen in the game. Martin, Ewing, and Jones. Eric Smith down on top. Right side to Martin again. Back to Smith. Cross-court pass to Floyd. Floyd left side of the circle. Back to Smith. On top of the circle. Dribbles a few times. Back to Floyd. Top of the circle. Lob down low to Ewing. Knocked away by McKay, but he's going to get called for the foul. Good defense by McKay as he was stopping Ewing from doing the alley-oop pass that worked so well versus Syracuse. First foul for Mike McKay. And Ewing is going to go to the line. I can't really believe that one. How can they say he was shooting? Now they're going to say it's a possession call down low.
And Chuck Alexander back into the lineup for the Huskies, replacing Bruce Kaczynski. Bruce, a fine job. A nice drive down the baseline and a couple of rebounds for him.
Smith in the Floyd. Floyd dribbles right out top. Right side over to Smith again. Huskies still in that 2-3, really fronting Ewing. Now a jumper by Floyd. Right side of the circle. It's off. No good. Rebound comes to the hands of Mike McKay. McKay had it. Lost it. Thompson knocked it back to McKay. As McKay and Alexander were fighting for it, neither realized that they were fighting against each other. Less than 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. Connecticut 23, Georgetown 19. And it's Carl Hobbs controlling the basketball. Thompson dribbles to the foul line, confronted by Ewing. Back to Hobbs, now back to Thompson. And they're passing in a triangle. This time Hobbs now driving left side in the corner to McKay. McKay slowing things up, back to Carl. Hobbs out top to Norman Bailey. Right side to Alex Sinnis. Alex Sinnis over Martin. Throws a jumper and he's fouled down low by Bill Martin. Mike Hancock re-entering the game for Bill Martin.
Hancock has not played too much. He was a starter at the forward spot, but he hasn't been playing too much tonight. Alex Sinnis was fouled, but it was a common foul, or rather he was shooting, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. His first 2 on the evening. On the season, Chuck shooting from the line 74%.
Chuck Alexander on the season, averaging 12.7 points a game, 12 points in Big East competition, 6 rebounds in Big East competition. Hits that first one. 24-19, a 5-point Connecticut lead. It's kind of surprising here. The betting line before the game is Georgetown by 11. Alexander hits the second shot, 25-19. If you remember last time, Huskies opened a big lead here at McDonough Arena, only to lose by 2 points to Georgetown, who made a pretty good comeback. 25-19, Eric Smith right side over to Floyd. Floyd in a corner to Hancock. Hancock back out to Floyd. Huskies still in a 2-3. Right around Ewing is Mike McKay now fronting him. Pass on the left side to Eric Smith. Smith driving. Left side to Jones. Jones open from 20. He throws him a shot. No good. Rebound Hancock, and he hits. Hancock came right in. No one boxed him out. 2 points for Mike Hancock. 1:36 to go. Connecticut on top, 25-21. Norman Bailey was trapped by Floyd, and Jones got out of it. Pass to Hobbs right around midcourt. Over to Bailey again. As they're passing back and forth, 2-1-2 zone as the guards are playing man-to-man. Right side, Alex Sinnis, back out to Bailey. Bailey over to Hobbs, 1:19 to go. Huskies up by 4. They'd like to go in with a comfortable 6-point margin, but you really can't expect them to wait for the last shot. Here's Thompson, top of the circle. Back out to Hobbs. Hobbs over to Bailey. They're just playing with the ball on the perimeter. They're trying to get Georgetown into a man-to-man, I believe. Here's Thompson now. Thompson open from 22. He shoots off the rim. No good. Rebound knocked out of the hands of Smith and controlled by Norman Bailey. Patrick Ewing knocked the ball out of Eric Smith's hands, and Connecticut has a second chance. 50 seconds to go. Thompson at the foul line. Over to Norman Bailey. Bailey drives. Hands it to Thompson in the corner. Alex Sinnis. He fakes up. Throws up a shot. It's partially blocked by Ewing. And a jump ball now between Thompson and Georgetown, and the Huskies will get the ball on the jump ball call. They'll take it right underneath their own basket.
Very fortunate there. Alex Sinnis took a long time to put that one up, and Ewing came flying out at him with that arm outstretched. Had to be 10 feet tall with that one, and he deflected Alex Sinnis' shot. And Corny Thompson strong underneath, grabbed the ball, and a jump ball call, but Connecticut gets it.
McKay inbounding the ball. They're looking for someone open. Gets it in Norm Bailey. Knocked out of bounds by Gene Smith and controlled by Connecticut. Huskies are going to have to get wide open for a play. 41 seconds to go in a half, 25-21. You're listening to Connecticut Husky basketball action on the Sound Alternative. Gene Smith again, a good defensive play, knocks the ball out of bounds. Starting to get these Georgetown fans riled up. McKay now finally gets it into Hobbs. Hobbs being guarded again by Gene. Hobbs going to the left side. Gene Smith badgering him there. Pass on the right side to Bailey. Bailey bounce pass back to Hobbs. Listen to the crowd get on for Gene Smith and the defense. 26 seconds to go. Hobbs dribbles around Anthony Jones. Over to Thompson. Thompson guarded by Ewing. Back out to Hobbs. 20 seconds to go. Hobbs driving on the right side. They're going for one last shot. Alex Sinnis on the baseline. He drives. Throws a shot over Ewing. No good. Rebound comes in the hands of McKay. Shot up. Blocked by Ewing. Rebound over to Bailey. Shot up. Blocked by Ewing. A whistle and a travel by the Huskies. Listen to this crowd go wild. The Huskies underneath were giving the Patrick Ewing show. 2 block shots by the senior and a travel call. 8 seconds by the freshman and a travel call. 8 seconds to go. Georgetown's ball. This is Gene Smith. Left side in the corner to Jones. Jumper from 25. No good. 1, and that's the half. Exciting basketball action here from McDonough Arena at the end of one half of play. It's Connecticut 25 and Georgetown 21. We'll be back for the halftime festivities right after this timeout. Harold Darak back with Jeff Dobek here at McDonough Arena in Washington, D.C. The halftime score, Connecticut 25 and Georgetown 21. Going over the unofficial halftime statistics, Huskies led by Mike McKay with 7 points. Corny Thompson has 6, 4 points each for Chuck Alexanis and Carl Hobbs, 2 points for Norman Bailey, and 2 points for Bruce Kaczynski. For Georgetown, Anthony Jones leads them with 5 points, 2 nice jumpers from the outside, and 1 out of 2 from the free throw line. 4 points for Ed Spriggs, 4 points for Pat Ewing, 2 each for Eric Floyd, Eric Smith, Mike Hancock, and John Martin. Or make that Bill Martin. Huskies up on top by 4 by halftime guest Joe D'Ambrosio from WLIS Radio. And it's been quite an exciting half. We thought, as I was talking a little bit earlier, Huskies were down by a score of 6-1 in the early going. And it looked like Georgetown was going to romp, but Huskies came back very cool and calm and ended up scoring the next 10 points.
Exactly, Harold. When it got 6-1, you might have been thinking, well, Georgetown's going to come out a little bit angry after their loss to Syracuse on Sunday, but the Huskies probably played their best 20 minutes of basketball this season in the first half when you take into account the competition, the place that they're playing, the national exposure they're getting tonight. It really has been an outstanding effort, and I'm sure quite a few people have been surprised at the effort that they put out tonight.
One note we should mention, Eric Sleepy Floyd with only 2 points. The first game the Huskies played versus Georgetown last year, he only scored 12, 5 for 11 from the floor. He came back with 28 in the second game, but right now he has been quiet so far this evening, and he's been missing a lot of his outside shots.
Exactly. The Huskies zone has taken him out of the offense. I thought Georgetown's offense moved a lot better when they brought the freshman Anthony Jones in, not quite as heralded as Patrick Ewing, but realistically, Ewing isn't much on offense. His defense is where people look for him to play, but offensively all year long, despite the fact that he's averaging 12 points a year, a game, I should say, the offense is where he might be weakest at, and as you mentioned, Sleepy Floyd really hasn't been a factor thus far.
And of course, a lot of people feel that Georgetown probably had the best recruiting year of any of the Big East teams, and you could really tell that with Patrick Ewing, Anthony Jones, Bill Martin, a couple other freshmen that we've that haven't played at all. One, Ralph Dalton, is injured indefinitely. He has a damaged right knee due to ligaments, but he is a pretty heralded freshman, along with, if I can find it, the last one I'm looking for, Alvaro Smith. another one of the Smith brothers. He was an all-time leading scorer at South River High School in Edgewood, Maryland. But 5 freshmen coming to Georgetown. They only really lost 1 senior and another player who did not play much from last year, but they have one heck of a team and one heck of a deep bench.
Exactly. We were talking during the break. The fact that if it's as hot down on the court as it is up here in the booth, then that could be a factor, the bench, because UConn isn't as deep. John Thompson can go 10, 11 players. Don Perno has been going only with 7 in this game, and Giscombe saw very limited duty. I like the way that Bruce Kaczynski went in there and muscled up with Ewing. Anybody that's seen Ewing play this year knows that he doesn't like the rough stuff. He likes to dish it out too, as we saw in the Syracuse game. And there was a little push and shove down at one point. It looked like things might have broken out, but I was glad to see Cuz come in there and muscle Ewing around a little bit, because I think if you can get him frustrated, get him in foul trouble, take him out of the defense, that hurts Georgetown a lot.
And the big confrontation between Ewing and Alex Sinnis, it was supposed to be in the beginning of the game, really has not developed at all, as Alex Sinnis has not played much in the first half, and when he has been playing, the Huskies seemingly could not go low because Ewing is all over there. And when Alex Sinnis did have the ball, he did look a little bit intimidated with a few block shots by Patrick.
Well, Chuck is more of an outside player than an inside player, despite his size, and I think it's about time that the people have come to realize that. Chuck likes to shoot the J from about 15 or so. He is not a physical player like, let's say, John Pannone of Villanova. Therefore, I think maybe that got a little bit blown out of proportion in the media, the physical confrontation between Alex Sinnis and Ewing, and I think Chuck's done a real good job on the defensive end so far.
Another thing we should mention, Norman Bailey with 2 points. That's 2 more than his entire output in the St. John's game, and that was a gift given by Carl Hobbs as he saw Norman Bailey break him a little bit in front of him. But Norman has not been playing as well as he did a little bit earlier in the year. What do you think he's going to have to do to break out of this minor slump that he is in?
No question about it. Norman really has not played that well since his outstanding performance at the end of December in the Connecticut Mutual Classic. It might be getting to the point now where it's a little bit of a confidence problem. Perhaps he's lost a bit of his confidence, but he's out there for his defense. He's not out there for his offensive contributions, and I think it'll just be a matter of time before he gets back. I was also happy, Harold, to see Corney get involved in the offense earlier in the ball game. Now, earlier this month, we've seen games where Corney doesn't get involved early. He tries to get his teammates involved, and while that's all well and good, I think Corney's the guy that's got to have the basketball X amount of times during the game. Mike McKay's got to have the basketball X amount of times during the game. And the fact that Corney scored early, he scored with 3 minutes and 10 seconds gone in the game. That might be as early as he scored in the past month or so. That was the thing. I also think Carl Hobbs did a great job in the first half, controlling the tempo, taking it easy. The charge call at the end of the half was a bit of a bad call. Don Perno was correct in getting up and being a little bit vehement about his opinion about the call. But when the Huskies have played slow, controlled, patient game, they've done a good job. When they try to speed it up a little bit, when they don't have the breakaway, that's when they get themselves into trouble.
One thing they've done very well tonight also on the defense is when the ball has come in the middle to the big men, they've been able to strip the ball away from them with their guards, especially Hobbs and Bailey doing a fine job getting a few key steals.
Exactly. Somebody else who hasn't been much of a factor thus far is Mike Hancock, who is a pretty fair offensive player, even though he's only averaging 9 points a game. He's very strong on the offensive boards, and the only basket he scored came off the offensive boards. That's another area where I think UConn has really got to control in the second half. We saw him, you saw him actually, have problems up in Syracuse on the offensive boards. They had those problems again against St. John's. As a matter of fact, 3 of the 10 field goals thus far for Georgetown have come off the offensive boards, Ewing, Spriggs, and Hancock. So if the big men can control the defensive boards for UConn, they have a good shot as long as they keep their poise.
Let's switch the subject to the Big East, and as we look at the Big East standings, incredible. Villanova has already played 6 games. They are out in front 6-0, and the Huskies are going to have to play them this Saturday. That's going to be quite a contest for Connecticut. The freshman Ed Pickney is a lot more than they expected. He's doing a fine job. Of course, you have John Pannone, Aaron Howard, and the whole mess of the team coming back from last year, and they're playing very good ball. Connecticut's going to have some problems at home.
Exactly. Villanova has caught some breaks this year. They've won a number of close games at home by a couple of points. Also, they've played a lot of conference games at home early. But, a thing is, the good teams win the close games. And that's why I think Villanova's a good team. I think Panone's the best big man in the Big East. I think Pinckney's excellent. I think Stuart Granger's an excellent guard. Raleigh Massimino had a good recruiting year. People will say, well, it wasn't quite as good as John Thompson here in Georgetown, but he's got Pinckney, Dwayne McClain, and Gary McClain who are contributing. And Aaron Howard is a very underrated ball player. I guess trying to compare him to somebody, there's got to be maybe some guy that really you think about that really doesn't do all that much, doesn't get a lot of headlines, but is a ball player that does things. Aaron Howard has won a game for Villanova. He won the Notre Dame game last night with a jumper with 3 seconds to go. He tied the Syracuse game with a jump shot with 2 seconds to go. And he's a man that gave UConn some problems last year. That whole team blends together very well. It's a very disciplined team, a very well-coached team.
And they really don't even need a deep bench. They take their 5 players and keep them in the game for quite some time. They're workhorses. And they've been, like Panone's been in the game. Granger's been in the game for 40 minutes at a time. And Huskies are going to have to look out, always having problems with John Panone, especially since Panone said he wasn't going to go to UConn and he was going to go to Villanova.
Well, I know John quite well. And it was between UConn and Villanova for the last two schools that he had it down to. He looked things over, and he went to Villanova. And I think people have to realize that not every good player in the state is going to go to the University of Connecticut. It would be nice if they did, but if they did, you'd have to have 11-man basketball teams if you wanted to keep them all happy. So, another thing, too, about Saturday Night Herald is that this is the first time that John's coming back to play at the Hartford Civic Center. He was a high school star at South Catholic in Hartford, my alma mater, and he's going to be juiced up, and I'm going to be interested to see the crowd reaction on Saturday night because I'm sure John will have quite a few friends there rooting for him, and as you mentioned, quite a few people who don't like him.
Okay, coming down the Big East standings, Georgetown and Syracuse 3-1 each. Connecticut, St. John's 2-2, BC 2-4. Seton Hall 1-4 and Providence 0-5. And we have the halftime official statistics. Connecticut shooting a 52.4%, Georgetown 43.5%, and the Huskies percentage is pretty incredible considering Georgetown on the season has only allowed 41% from the floor.
Exactly.
So the Huskies doing a fine job shooting there in the first half. Let's look at rebounding. Huskies incredibly out-rebounding Georgetown 15-9, and I'd like to have this and keep this for all time.
Put it in the archives.
Because we don't see this that much lately. They're doing a fine job. Corning with 5, Bailey and McKay with 3 each. Patrick Ewing only has 1. And if we look at the turnovers, Connecticut has 2 more, but that's really no problem, as they have the 4-point lead at halftime. It's Connecticut 25 and Georgetown 21. So thank you very much, Joe D'Ambrosio from WLIS, for coming out and helping us out with our halftime festivities. And we're going to take a timeout and bring you the second half basketball here from McDonough Arena in Washington, D.C. Once again, it's Connecticut 25 and Georgetown 21. We'll be back right after this timeout.